we're in a relaxed environment. Call this work session to order. This is our February 27th meeting in preparation for our first meeting in March, for our regular meeting in March, which will be held, as it usually is, at 5:30 on Tuesday, March 3rd. So we do not have a presentation formal prior to us going into the agenda items, although we are fortunate enough to have Leah Kemp, who will make a little bit of a presentation for one of the agenda items. And so we will go ahead and get into this, call the meeting to order, and duly noted that, let's see, is there something, nope, all good. So we have 3 sets of minutes. Mr. Huskisson, are we good with those?
Yes, ma'am.
All good? You're good? Is that good for consent? All right, consent for the 3 of those. And then under mayor's comments, I had a nice long discussion with Mr. Williams this morning about no mow March. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. So, and if I screw it up, you just tell me. For purposes of pollination and that sort of thing, we're going to adhere to the no mow March and let this little stuff that's blooming, not stuff that's been there forever, but little stuff that's blooming, go ahead and come on up so that the bees and all the little creatures can enjoy it. Is that good?
It is.
Reasonably well done. We'll put it out on social media, but in case y'all start hearing from your various constituents, it's a deliberate attempt to go ahead and let all the pollinators do their work. So, well, first year that I think we've ever done this. So.
And what that'll do too is like our city crews, we're still planting trees right now, as well as other flower beds and everything. So it'll allow us to kind of finish that work up before we get into the grass mowing.
We'll give our best shot at it, and I'll try to be a little more articulate on Tuesday when we talk about it. All right, so mayor's comments. We don't have any introductions this next time around, so unless there's something else that happens between now and then, we will let it go. Although I can say we do have tournaments this weekend at Cornerstone Park. We have a 2-day tournament at Cornerstone Park, so that will be activity for the weekend. And presentation, we have I don't know that, I think I can share this with you guys, but we got 2 awards from, for our pavement preservation project, and so Ergon is going to come on Tuesday night and make a little presentation on that. So I think that's very exciting. Mr. Burnett went to accept those awards, and he'll be back. He's not here today, he's off, but he'll be back on Tuesday, and we'll get those awards. So that's pretty cool. No public hearings, and all right, so mayor's business. This is the kratom issue that I believe we all have seen social media talk about it, and we had people who requested it. I sent out an email to the board to inquire if this is something we wanted to take up. And I did get an affirmative response back, so I have drafted an ordinance. It's a combination of Tupelo and Columbus, which they had already plowed that ground. So I played with it a little bit. Mr. Huskisson has looked at it. This is just something for an opportunity for us to call for the public hearings. We take it up, we choose to do it or not do it. But there is some interest in the community at us looking at it for action. So that's the reason it's on the agenda. But this is the first step, which is our usual calling for 2 public hearings. So we can either, we can leave it off the consent agenda and I can address it, or we can put it on the consent agenda and we'll address it at the public hearing time. Leave it off? All right. Okay. All right, we'll do that. Good, under the airport, we've got a donation of a butt loader, which is really pretty cool because that allows some of these teams that are coming in to be able to unload and offload their baggage in a much more safe and convenient way. It also allows the Humane Society to do the dog transport up north where they've got those arrangements. So it's really cool. This was a donation. So this is just an acceptance of the donation. So we consent for that one? Okay. And then Clearwater Consultants, this is the bill grant for the hangar project, and this is just an authorization to pay, right?
No, it's just a work authorization, so Carrie can.
Oh, it's the work authorization, I'm sorry. Okay, so it is the work authorization. All right, and the airport board has looked at this and they're good with it. Okay, consent for that one? All right, under community development and planning, Mr. Carolyn is not here, but this first one is easy because that's Jason and Mr. Ballard, and this allows us to make appointments to the Landscape Advisory Board, and we don't have any other areas or any other matters of interest, so this is consideration of making those appointments. So consent for that one. Then we've got a certificate of appropriateness.
Yes, this is a 511 Greensboro Street. This is going to go behind the house. It's a 22-foot by 22-foot open-air carport structure. went before the Historic Preservation Commission earlier in the week, and it received recommended unanimously for approval.
Yes, okay, all right. Consent for that one? All right. And then the execution of a Humanities Council re-granting agreement. I still want to know what a
Yes.
re-granting.
So essentially, the Humanities Council received a large grant in which they are given the authority to re-grant it out to smaller agencies for their
Okay, so
purpose.
they're piecing it out?
Yes, yes.
Excellent. I just wanted to understand that because re-granting is not something you normally see when it comes to
Okay,
re-granting.
I'm learning too.
Okay, all right. Consent for that one? All right. And then on engineering, we've got, this is where Ms. Kemp is going to make a little presentation for us. So Leah, I'm going to let you, if you go down there by the vice mayor, I think we've got something queued up for you.
Thank you.
That is.
Do we have a clicker?
We got a clicker right here for you.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Leah Kemp. I'm the director of the Small Town Center at Mississippi State, and we are in the College of Architecture, Art and Design, and we provide community design services for towns all over the state. And so I think I've met most of y'all, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit very quickly about the Neighborways proposal. A few months ago, the engineering department asked me to submit a proposal for supplemental services to enhance their design of Neighborways. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with them, they are actually bike lanes in neighborhoods or low traffic streets. And so this is just a few pictures of what they could potentially look like. These are in kind of northern neighborhoods, but they have traffic islands sometimes with landscaping and signage. There's also demarcation on the road to kind of create traffic calming and slower streets. And the idea behind these is that they would connect everyday destinations in the town. And so if you think about McKee Park and Longmeadow and the Lynn Lane multimodal path, these kind of neighborways would be created, let's say in Longmeadow, and would start to connect these destinations. And the thought is really that we would create more bike lanes in the community to connect our already existing bike infrastructure, but also create easier ways to maybe get to campus or other destinations in town. So it's just kind of an expansion of the cycling network that you've already created. Here's another indication where you can create landscaping elements or add some markations on the road to indicate that these roads are more for pedestrians and cyclists. And as part of our scope of work, we would do some signage and wayfinding design. This is a package we did for Laurel's downtown recently. And so you can see that there are a variety of signs and scales, but there's a cohesive look to them. And what we would do is just create the branding and signage to supplement what is already here in our community. We've got some great signage, and we would just kind of supplement that and create a separate branding system for the neighborways. And then the other element of the scope of work is just intersection art, street art. We've done several street art projects in our community already, but these would really be to slow traffic, introduce traffic calming to those streets, provide some art, and reinforce the identity that we would be creating with the branding and wayfinding signage.
Oh, we've got you, Leah. Are there any plans to refresh, because those are fabulous, I mean, I just love those. Any plan to refresh the paint periodically?
We did last summer, not this past summer, but the summer before, we did 2 of the main 3 intersections.
Okay.
That's a discussion we can have.
Okay.
We need some volunteers.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
I hear you. How about you?
They're not meant to last forever, but I know we want them to.
Yeah, okay, no, I understand, but they were really cool, and
Thank
the
you.
outline's already there, so it's
Yes,
very simple.
that's right.
As opposed to doing something new, it's
That's
very
right.
simple to
That's
keep
right.
those up. So.
And that was the concept behind some of that too.
Yeah.
So, and this is the total of our scope of work. If y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer that.
I'm gonna ask Mr. Williams, because I think that'd be more him than you at this point. Have we identified particular neighborways that
where we wanted to start with were the McKee. So now we have our big sidewall that comes through the multi-use path, and it just kind of dead ends into the Long Meadow neighborhood. So coming up through there to Jack's, you know, when you come to those other ends, and so like the intersection art, if y'all think about the church, the intersection that's at the church right there is huge. So if we did the edges with the paint, so then that way folks could see, it's like, hey, we're having folks walk. So really the idea is, so whenever you have your 10-year-old that lives in Long Meadow, that they've got a dedicated spot to ride their bike to the park and try to have that type of thing. So traffic calming, and then overall, so another one would be like Patriot Parks and the Green Oaks neighborhood. So trying to catch these areas and make it part of make it where you can walk to your park safely.
Okay,
So-
Alderman's sister is gonna be regretting that she left Long.
So we're using this, like she said, on low traffic streets to try to have that one in the overall big plan. And that's why we wanted to have branding and have it where it'll be cohesive. And so then that way at the end, we'll have a map. So if somebody comes to visit town, they stay in an Airbnb, hey, they want to cycle to one of these places or get to campus or anything else, you kind of have that overarching plan.
Cool, okay. Any questions of either one?
I'll just say, I do know the people in Long Meadow would be greatly appreciative of anything that slows traffic down.
Yeah.
It's probably true of most neighborhoods.
All right, anybody else? Thank you, Leah.
Sure.
Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, no problem.
Absolutely. All right, can we do a consent for that one? All right. Then we'll skip past the claims docket. And we've got we have to, because we now have two papers that are papers of local publications, which is Starkville Dispatch now and for Starkville News, we are required by statute to put it out for bid. And so that's what we're going to have to do, or it's what we're going to do. So, consent for that one? Okay. And then consideration of entering into agreement with Tyler to do content management module. I'll let you or whoever else speak to that one.
This will allow us to digitalize and store all our invoices and any other documents that are coming to the finance offices digitally, which will get us away from the paper, have better redundancy, and just have better, be able to give department heads access to see what was paid, and they can pull up the invoice and have their history.
Okay, so better access as well. Okay. And how much is it?
It's about 3,000 annually. It's like a 6,000 one time, but we're gonna pay for it out of our salary gap from having.
Sure, no, I just knew it wasn't a huge amount, it might be, $100,000 or something, so, okay, consent for that one? Okay. And then, renewing a mechanical services agreement, this is for our HVAC for police and city hall, so, consent for that one? Fire department, we have a grant, Homeland Security grant for, this is for, I believe it was for radios, yeah, it's for radios. Anything you wish to add, well, there you are, anything you wish to add?
Yes, ma'am, this is a continuation of the grant that we got last year for we applied for 37 radios, but we only got 14.
Okay.
And we want to continue to get base stations and mobile units for our trucks.
All right, so continuation of this, consent for this?
They're doing that in-house, so, that they or the fire department itself is applying for that grant.
Oh,
So
okay.
they're not having to use an outside source.
Great, well, and we just need to make sure we
Put it
can,
on.
record updates. Okay, consent for that one? Okay. And then HR, we have, these are the ones that are here, where's Stacy?
Right here.
There you are. These are all replacement
Yes, ma'am.
positions?
Correct.
Okay, so we have, police officer, pre-academy, and then reserve police officer, consent for that one? And then hiring, Natalia, is that right? Okay, Hudson is the building inspector, this is kind of exciting, we've got a building inspector coming. Mr. McMullen, you were pleased with the interviews?
Very pleased.
Okay, great. Consent for that one? Okay. And then authorization for water, to promote a water tech for the utilities department, and that's a retroactive, where you pick one.
This is actually our
High school person, yes, but I wanted to let you highlight that, so.
So he's graduating, he's already working 30 hours a week. He's the criteria for purpose, so we want to make sure that he was in before the deadline for the new tier.
Right. And I'm very excited about that program, I think it's great.
That's the young man I was talking to you about.
Yes, sir.
So he's currently an intern?
Yeah.
He's currently in the work study program. It has been since the fall. He's going to be a great employee.
I love that, and hopefully we can do more of that. So, consent for that one? Okay. And then 2 disciplinary actions, this is related to items of the utilities department. Consent for those? Okay. And then ground service technician and sanitation, station hire. Consent for that one? All right. IT, this is a year in renewal of the threat blocker software, which sounds very, threatening.
Yes, ma'am.
Threatening.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything about that?
Just a renewal of one of our existing security
And these
tools.
are annual?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we expect that every year, and that's in the budget, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's right.
Consent for that one? Okay. And then bids for re-roofing the Sportsplex and Travis Outlaw Center, both of which are in need. So, can we consent that one?
How much that cost?
We don't know. We're gonna bid for it. Hopefully it will be reasonable. Do we have an
About
expectation?
125,000 is what we're expecting, on that one. It's kinda hard to put a real hard price on it because it's a lot of little hodgepodge things. This is the, so awnings over the doors that go into the gym. Right now, we're getting some water intrusion that kinda comes down the wall and rolls in. And reglazing some windows and those type things. So it's kind of it's kind of hard to put a price to it, but we think it's about that.
Okay. And we have been having trouble with the various roofs that we patched off and on over the years.
And this one, this doesn't take care of the Travis Outlaw Center actual roof. This is kind of the siding on it,
Yeah.
and then it's the actual, all the annex roof, so it will be the whole roof. But it's the same type of work, so we're trying to bundle it together so we can hopefully get a better price from a contractor that already will be there.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Consent for that one? Okay. And then we have police. This is the purchase of an unmarked car, paid for forfeited funds. Gotta love it. Anything about that you wish to share, Chief? All right. Consent? All right. And then wireless communications fund to purchase radios again. Those radios, the life of those radios. Joel, what's the life of those radios?
I'm not sure, most electronic devices are about 5 years or so, but you can expect to get a little more out of them. We tend to get a little more out of our equipment, but 5 years is a general life cycle for
So
electronic
kind of like a
equipment.
computer.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, consent for that one? And then under code enforcement, we're rolling into mowing season, other than no mow March. And this particular piece of property has been long neglected, and so it needs to be managed. So can we do consent for that one? Okay. And then utilities, Mr. Kemp, anything you wish to share about any of these? This is our big number for the headworks and the clarifier.
This is the construction engineering and inspection services. For that, we'll have a resident inspector that's making sure that the contractor's following all the requirements of the contract, meets the specifications, and it's less than 5% of the total contract amount, which is a good amount, but it is quite a bit of work.
Yeah. And are we still on track from a time
Yes,
perspective?
ma'am. We're still on track from a time perspective for the first project, planning on being finished with that second or third quarter of this year, this calendar year, and this second large project in the mid to late part of 2027.
Okay, great. Consent for that one? All right. And then the low quote from Chambers for the insertion valve, and do a little bit on that one, just
Yes,
so.
we encountered a situation right after the new year when we had some cold weather that came through. We had some valves that we identified when we were trying to isolate a water main break that were identified to be broken and that are in need of repair. So these two are actually 2 different locations where we're going to be doing insert valves that will allow us to isolate the water so that we can dig up those ones that are broken and repair those.
Okay, all right.
So
Consent for that?
they're expensive, but they're needed.
All right. And then low quote from Altech, and that's for the repair of the backyard machine unit.
On the electric side.
Okay, for electric. All right.
What is a backyard machine unit, out of curiosity?
I'm sorry?
What is that, out of
is it?
curiosity?
Yeah, it's a very, it's a smaller machine, but it's on tracks, so you can navigate these areas that are very difficult.
So it's to get
access.
backyards and things?
Yeah, it's not very wide, and it's able to carry a full-size pole and to do a auger and set a pole in hard to reach places where you can't get a truck in.
Carry pole, set a pole.
Like
You hate mine.
Little machine.
Yes, all right, consent for that one? And then last but not least, this is an emergency purchase for a well repair. This is Curry Street
This is
well?
Curry Street well that's been down since June 25. We did just an initial preventative its inspections, and we've been having problems with it. This is to actually get it back up fully running and actually also lower the water elevation. That was one of the findings from our inspection to improve the capacity of it. Curry's our oldest well, our least performing well, so we hope that this will actually increase the production, extend the life.
Does that mean we're digging deeper?
And the depth is already there, you're just lumping the pump over in the water
Okay,
level.
all right, capturing water, okay,
Yes,
consent for that one? All right. And we have a personnel matter that's listed, and it may or may not come to fruition. So, that kind of concludes this for the day. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday, and not note, I want to pay attention to Black History Month that Alderman Vaughn is about to go share with his grandchildren at Summit, which I think is way cool. I mean, I love that. I think it's very cool. So